Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am so glad to be back to teach you this lesson today. It's called Evaluating Rational Exponents and Radicals. Now, radical means the roots. For example, the square root, the cube root, any kind of symbol that look like that, okay? And then rational exponent mean the power, and ratio have the word ratio. So for example, you have x to the power of 1/2. Okay, that would be called rational exponents because the power is a ratio, a fraction. Okay, so some background knowledge that we need is about perfect square and perfect cubes. So perfect square means the number multiplied by itself 2 times. So 1 square equals 1, 2 square equals 4, 3 square means 3 times 3 is 9, 4 square is 4 times 4, 16, 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square 49, 8 square is 8 times 8, so 64. 9 square is 81, 10 square 100, 11 square is 121, and 12 square is 144. Now, perfect cubes means it just look like a perfect box, right? With 3 dimension 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to have what do you call cube mean they multiply by itself 3 times, exactly 3 times with the same number. So 1 to the power 3 means 1 times 1 times 1. 2 to the power 3 means 2 times 2 times 2. And that will give you 8, correct? And 3 to the power cube means 3 times 3 times 3, 3 times. And that's 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And so on. So you get a point. 4 to the power 3, 64. 5 to the power 3 is 125. 6 to the power 3, 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. 7 to the power 3, 343. 8 to the power 3 is 8 times 8 times 8, 512. 9 to the power 3, 729. 10 to the power 3 is 1,000. 11 to the power 3 is 1,331. 12 to the power 3 is 1,728. Okay, so that's background knowledge. I recommend you to memorize this. It will help you so much better. Well, the point of today is you're going to be given these big number right here. And they're going to ask you what is a root, which means what number multiplied by itself that many times to give you the big numbers here, okay? So without further ado, let's get started with the first part. Part 1, we're going to look at the whole number exponents. Whole number means any natural numbers. So the exponents of a number says how many times to use the number in a multiplication, right? For example, 8 squared means 8 times 8 equals 64. 5 to the power 3 means 5 times 5 times 5. This is how many times they repeat, okay? The top number is how many times they repeat. And that's equals to 125. So how do you say this in word? 8 to the power 2 is 8 to the second power, or 8 to the power of 2, or simply 8 squared. Okay? Now, what if the exponents, the number on top, is a fraction? Okay, so our main focus, we're going to take a look, is called rational exponents. Rational, you see the word ratio? Ratio means fraction, okay? So that means the exponent is a fraction. So for example, we have 4 to the 1/2, 4 to the 1/2. Okay, it just means that it needs to find a number that multiply twice to give you 4. That's gonna be 2, right? So 25 to the 1/2 means any number that you multiply to give you 25, 2 exact number, and multiply to give you 25. Okay, 81 to the 1/2. Okay, so for example, 81 to the 1/2. And you want to know what is if I multiply that by 81 to the 1/2, again, then I'm going to have 81. 1/2 and 1/2, it will give you, when you add together, it will give you 1, right? So that will give you 81. So 81 to the 1/2 twice will give you 81. So just half of it is going to be the square root of 81, which give you 9. Okay, so there will be 9 times 9 equals 81. And that's correct. So that's the proof of it, okay? Similarly to the cube roots, you have a to the 1/3 means what is the number that multiplies itself 3 times gives 8. Okay, so if you notice earlier we talked about this, right? Cube is power of 3, so you see 2 to the power of 3 give you 8. So therefore the number is a to the 1 cube will give you 2. Similarly, 5 to the power of 3 will give you 125. So therefore 125 to the 1/3 means equals to 5. 343. Previously on the highlighted also, we have 3 to the power of 1/3 is the same as the cube root of 343. And 343 is here. The root is 7. Okay, so the base number right here is called the roots. Good. So that's some example. An exponent of 1/2 is called square root. So for example, x to the 1/2, that's square root of x. Okay. Exponents of 1/3 means cube root. So x to the power of 1/3 mean the cube root of x. Okay. Exponents of 1/4 is the fourth root. For example, x to the 1/4 will equals to the fourth root of x. Okay. I hope that made clear. You're going to watch a link right here and you're going to be taking note about it. So basically they explain this in further detail. Okay, it will help you understand it better. So check out that link and after that we come back to the lesson. Okay. The second part of the lesson, it have to do with the rules. Like earlier we said, square root means x to the 1/2, right? Cube root means x to the 1/3. The fourth root is x to the power 1/4. So the general rule is if you have a root number n outside of x, then that's gonna be x to the power 1 over n. Okay, for example, we have root 6 of x. That will be x raised to the 1 over 6. Okay, basically what's the rule say? Whatever number right here goes in the bottom of the fraction. Alright, now let's take a look at the example. I say you try. Okay, so 100 raised to the 1/2. Now this is not the same as 100 times 1/2. Okay, it simply means that you need to multiply two numbers that give you 100, two exact number that give you 100. Okay, this is just the same as the square root of 100. Square root of 100 is how much? Of course, two number, exact number multiply give you 100. That means 10. Okay, because 10 times 10 will give you 100. Okay, 49 to the 1/2. 49 to the 1/2 means it's a half, right? So you gotta multiply by exactly the same thing to give you 49. So what is the root of that? Of 49? That will give you 7. Alright? Because 7 times 7 will give you 49. Similarly, in the cube root, so we're gonna need to multiply 3 numbers to give you 1,000. Okay? So based on the list that we see in the front, like this, 1,000 will be 10 multiplied by itself 3 times. So that will be the cube root of 1,000 is 10. Does that make sense? Okay. Next part is a little bit more complicated. You see, all of them we've been working at is with 1 on top. What about the one that any fraction? So say you have 2 on top, 3 on top, 5 on top, over any number in the bottom, right? So let's take a look at the next part. All right, a to the 2/3. Now, the bottom number, we will call them the roots. Okay, remember how we did earlier, the square root. And the top number, we call them the power, right? So, this a to the 2/3 is the same thing as a to the 1/3. Everything raised to the second power. Okay, so you take the root, a to the 1/3, and then a to the 1/3 means equal to 2. Right? Because 2 times 2 times 2 will give you 8. 3 times. So whenever you find the root, you think about how many times do I multiply the original number to get that. Okay, 2 to the power of 2 give you 4. For more information, you look at this explanation. It's on YouTube. It's a YouTube link. They explain very clearly. Okay, and then so you can see what you learn new. So the next one we're going to do is we're gonna try the 4 example that are given. First, 25 to the 3/2, 81 to the 3/2, 16 to the 3/4, and 32 to the 3/5. Okay, so the first one we have 25 to the 3/2. This, because the bottom number represent the roots, so we're gonna rewrite them as 25 to the 1/2, and then the top number represent the power, so the power go outside. Okay, 25 to the 1/2, everything raised to the 3rd power. See the 3rd power go there. Top number go outside. The bottom number go inside. Okay, so 25 to the 1/2 is the same as square root of 25. So that's 5. And then raised to the 3 power outside, the 3rd power. What's 5 to the 3rd? Well, that's 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5. That will give you 125. Okay, so this equals to 125. Evaluating means you get the final answer. Okay, you can also put this one in the calculator on your phone, okay, and see, or you can put on Google. Okay, go to Google and type in calculator and you'll be able to put this one in and get that. So let's try the next one. 81 to the 3/2. This is the same as 81 to the 1/2. Everything raised to the top power of 3. Okay, 3 is a power outside right there. 81 to the 1/2 is the same as square root of 81. Well, what two number multiply by itself to give you 81? Of course, it's 9. And then you raise to the outside number, 3. 9 to the power of 3 means 9 times 9 times 9. Okay, 9 to the power of 3 equals 729. Okay, that's the second example. The third, we have 16 to the 3/4. Same thing. 16 to the 1/4. Take out the root first, and then raise it to the 3rd power. Now, what number multiplied by itself 3 times will give you 16? I mean 4 times. 4 times will give you 16. Well, that had to be 2. Right? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 will give you 16. Okay, so the root, the 4th root of 16 is 2. And then we raise it to the 3rd power. 2 to the 3 power equals to 8. Alright, next we have 32 to the 3 to the power 4. 32 to the 3/5. My bad. 3/5, okay? So same thing, the base is 32. The root is 5, so we're gonna put 1/5. And then the power is 3. So let's raise all that to the third power. Alright, so 32 to the 1/5. We gotta calculate this part, right? 32 to the 1/5. That means what numbers multiply by itself 5 times to give you 32. Okay, here we have 16 already. So if you multiply here by 2 again, it will give you 32, right? So the 2 is being multiplied by itself 5 times. It will give 32. So that will be 2. The fifth root of 32 is 2. Raise that to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3. Coincidentally, we have the answer right here already. It's 8. So we're going to put that one. It's 8. How about 216 to the 2/3? 216 is the base. We raise to the third power. The root is 1/3. And then you have the 2 on top, right? So that will be the square. We certainly know this one. 216 to the 1/3. That's what we have to do with the cube root, right? Cube. So we look at a cube. Perfect cube. 216 is 6 cube. So the answer right here is 6. And then raise to the second power. How much is 6 squared? Well, it's just gonna be 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, so that is the lesson that we did today. If anything that unclear, you can send me a message or just rewatch a video and look more on YouTube to see helpful links. Okay, I know it's not the easiest concept to learn online, but I think my students are really good at looking up information, right? And it's also a necessary skill when you go to college, and especially now. So I believe in you that you can learn this and you can practice. Make sure you take notes. If you don't have the paper like this, it's fine. You can just write down on the notebook paper. Okay, notebook paper, any paper that you find. Write it down, practice, go over, make sure you understand. Make sure that you know the list right here. You see, it's very helpful for you to know, right? So they give you the 216, the cube root of that will be 6. 125, the cube root will be 5. 64, cube root will be 4. And similarly with square root, of course. Alright. Now, after you have done the lesson, make sure you go and practice on this link. This is a practice link. I have about 12 questions. So what you do is you go into practice on that. Click on the link and practice. If you have more than 75 or more above, then you're ready to take the quiz. Okay? But don't take the quiz if you get lower than 75%, because that means you need to review and practice more. So click on the link again and practice as many times as possible as you like. All right. And you don't have to report that grade. It's just a practice link, but it's going to help you. And then after that, take the quiz. This is the code for the quiz. It have 20 questions. Okay, so take that one and that will count for your grade. Okay, I am delightful to be teaching you today. I hope you learned something new that can be helpful for you for the next grade. And well, just to learn, right? Because we are here and we want to benefit ourselves every day. I hope you keep your health, be safe, be healthy. Stay inside. I know it's not easy, but stay inside to be safe for you and for everybody else. Okay? Okay, take care, my students. I really miss you. I hope you continue to try and keep learning every day. And hopefully I see you soon. Bye-bye.